This video is about CELPIP speaking feedback. Yes, so today's video is going to be extremely important, especially if you're stuck between band 8 and band 9, then you're wondering what exactly is missing? Why I'm not crossing band 9? Because let me be very honest, the difference between band 8 to 9 and band 10 plus is not because of grammar. It's not even vocabulary alone. It is depth plus natural control plus emotional connection and flexibility. So today I'm going to show you answers, feedback for that, and which will give you 8 to 9 level and how to go above 9 level. Okay, so let's see it one by one. So here is an example. Now you have to talk about a time when you helped someone. Okay, so this was the scenario. Imagine this. Now you can come up with your sample speaking response. Let me give mine. And please listen carefully, okay? So, I would like to talk about a time when I helped one of my close friends during an important situation in his life. This happened around a year ago when he was preparing for a very important job interview. At that time, he was feeling quite stressed and confused because he had already attended a few interviews before but was not successful. So, naturally, his confidence level was quite low. When I noticed this, I decided to support him in a practical way instead of just giving general advice. First, I asked him to share the type of questions he had faced earlier, and based on that, I created a simple structure for him to answer questions more effectively. For example, I told him to start with a clear point, then give a short explanation, and finally add an example. In addition to that, I also conducted few mock interview sessions with him. So during these sessions, I observed that he was speaking too fast and sometimes losing clarity. So I suggested that he slow down slightly and focus on expressing his ideas more clearly. Over the next few days, I could see a gradual improvement in his confidence and communication. He started organizing his thoughts better and speaking in a more structured way. Finally, when he attended the actual interview, he performed much better and later informed me that he was selected for the job. I felt really happy and satisfied because I was able to support him during a challenging time, and it also strengthened our friendship. Now, you have listened to this, right? Yes, this is a strong answer, but not top band. This will give you a band of about 8 to 9. Do you know why? Yes, I do agree what I have given a good answer. I'm not saying this is a bad answer at all. Because if you listen carefully, everything is there, right? The structure was clear, the ideas were organized properly, the response was completely relevant to the question, and there were no grammar issues. And I also spoke from the situation to the problem, then to the action, and finally, I came to the result. So, from an exam perspective, yes, this kind of answer can definitely sit around band 8 or band 9. But now, here is where things get interesting. This is exactly where most students get stuck. Even though the answer is clear and correct, it feels a little bit controlled. Even though the answer is clear and correct, it feels a little bit controlled. Didn't you feel that way? Yes, it felt like I was being very careful, right? Almost like I was trying to perform correctly instead of just speaking naturally. Yes, the vocabulary that I have used was really good, but it was predictable. You did not hear anything wrong, but at the same time, you did not hear anything that really stands out or feels flexible. Can you understand the difference? And the biggest thing, there was very little emotional connection. You understood what happened, but you did not really feel it. It does not pull you in. So, what happened was that I was explaining the situation, but not really engaging the listener. And this is the key difference you need to understand because this answer is clear. It was correct and it was structured, but it was not deep at all. It was not very personal and it was not expressive enough to push into a higher band. Got it? Now, I'm going to give you above band 9 response. Again, I'm telling you, please listen to this carefully. Then you will understand the difference. Okay? So, one experience that really stayed with me was when I helped one of my close friends prepare for a job interview. And honestly, it was a very stressful time for him. He had already faced a couple of rejections before. So, by the time this interview came, he was not just nervous, he was actually doubting himself. I could clearly see that his problem was not knowledge, but confidence and the way he was expressing his ideas. So instead of just telling him, don't worry, I decided to help him in a more structured and supportive way. So we started by sitting together, analyzing the questions he had faced earlier. I noticed that his answers were not wrong, but they were not organized, and sometimes he rushed through them. Then we did a few mock interview sessions, and this time I focused not only on what he was saying, but also how he was saying it, like his tone, his speed, and even his body language whenever he made mistakes. I did not interrupt immediately. I let him finish and then gave him calm and constructive feedback so that he wouldn't feel discouraged. One thing that really worked was encouraging him continuously. Even small improvements, I pointed them out, and that slowly built his confidence. By the end of few days, I could genuinely see a difference. He was speaking more clearly. His answers were more structured, and most importantly, he looked more confident. Later, when he came back from the interview and told me that it went really well, I actually felt very proud, not just because he performed well, but because I realized how much impact the right support at the right time can have on someone. Got it? So now this is the difference, right? Now you can find the difference very clear over here, isn't it? This one feels stronger. And why this is the kind of response that can go above band 9, I'll give you the reason. The first thing you notice is the depth. This is not just someone saying, I helped my friend. That's too basic, right? Here, I actually taken time to explain what was really happening, why the friend was struggling, what exactly the problem was, what they did to help, and most importantly, what changed in the end. So it feels layered, isn't it? It feels like a real situation, not just a simple answer. And that's what examiners are listening for. They want to see if you can think and expand, not just give surface level points. Now, the second thing is the flow of language. Did you hear the phrases like honestly, or I could clearly see, or he was not just nervous, he was actually doubting himself? So these are not memorized phrases. No, this is how people naturally speak in real life, right? And that's a big difference because CELPIP is not testing textbook English. It is testing how naturally you can communicate in real situations. Then comes the emotional connection. When I say things like he was doubting himself or I felt really proud, suddenly the answer becomes more human. You are not just listening to information anymore. You are actually feeling the situation. And that makes a huge difference in scoring because the response becomes more engaging. Another thing you will notice is the flexibility in language. I was not repeating the same words again and again, if you have noticed. Instead of just saying helped again and again, I naturally used different expressions like supported, encouraged, guided, observed, and it does not feel forced. It just flows. And finally, the biggest thing control. I was not even rushing, I was not panicking. I was expanding my ideas comfortably, adding details step by step, and everything feels smooth and balanced. And this is exactly what examiners recognize as higher level performance. Got it? So it's not about using difficult words. It's about showing that you're completely comfortable using English to express your real thoughts in a very natural and meaningful way. Got it? So remember to focus on adding depth, showing your real thinking, speaking like a real person, and connecting emotionally. So that's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more setup tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.